Assalamu alaikum grade 4. How are you my dear students? Today inshallah we will start unit 17 symmetry and triangle. Lesson A reflective symmetry. Our learning outcomes for today: identify reflective symmetry, create symmetrical patterns with two lines of symmetry. I know this is reflective, it's a new word and you don't know what's the meaning of this word, and this is what we are going to explain it today. Before we start, let's revise what we mean by symmetry. Who can remind me what is symmetry or the symmetrical shapes? Excellent, that one shape we can divide it into two equal parts, two identical parts. Like this, we can draw the line of symmetry for this three leaves, and this is here the line of symmetry. The line of symmetry divide any shape into two identical parts. When you fold the paper, these two parts become identical, and any shape that have line of symmetry, we name it symmetrical shape. Okay, we learned grade 4 about the lines of symmetry, and we know that some shapes have one line of symmetry, some have more than one, two or three lines, and some have no lines of symmetry. Let's start with a square here. Square have four lines of symmetry. You can see these lines. Four lines can divide this square into equal parts, two equal parts. Rectangle have two lines of symmetry. Rhombus also have two lines of symmetry. Kite have only one line of symmetry. And that's it. What I want to tell you here, grade 4, that in the regular shape, and what we mean by regular shape, shape with equal sides and angles, like the square here. In the square, all the sides are equal and the angles also equal. So, if I ask you how many lines of symmetry we can draw for the square, you tell me 4. Why? Because in the regular shape, the number of sides equal the number of line of symmetry. So 4 sides, so 4 line of symmetry. Down also, the equilateral triangle, we have 3 sides, all are equal, also the angles are equal. So how many line of symmetry we can draw here? 3 lines of symmetry. Okay? For example, regular pentagon, how many line of symmetry we can draw for regular pentagon? Pentagon 5 sides, so 5 lines of symmetry. Now reflection. What we mean by reflection? Check these two pictures and the mirror also. What do you think? What is the relation between mirror and reflection? Excellent. So reflection exactly like the mirror line, and this is type of transformation. Here in this, reflection means we will flip an object, the size stays same, only just we want to mirror, like you are standing in front of mirror, same. Now here we can see the butterfly. This is the line of symmetry. If I ask you to complete this, so this will be the reflection. we flip the half of the butterfly. Okay, here also this is the cow, and we reflect the half of it. So this is also the reflection. Here, let's answer together. Is this a reflection or no? What do you think, grade 4? Let's show answer. Excellent. This is a reflection. Good. Now, what do you think? Is it a reflection? Let's check our answer. Excellent. So this is not a reflection. What do you think now? Is it a reflection? Good. Yes, this is a reflection. Excellent. And this one, is it a reflection? Good. This is also a reflection. Now let's learn together how can we draw a reflected shapes. We have this blue shape and we want to reflect it vertically. What we mean by vertical? This line in the middle, this is the mirror line and it's a vertical line. What we mean by vertical? Standing line. Okay? So now we want to draw the reflected shape. The first step, you have to choose a corner and we draw corner by corner, then we match between the corners. So first, let's choose this corner. And this corner, it's 1 square to the left of the mirror line. So the distance between the corner, the yellow one, and the mirror line, 1 square. So I draw a new dot in the other side, okay, which is only 1 square. Now to the right of the mirror line. Okay, now we choose another corner. Let's choose this one now. Also this is 1 square to the left, so the other side, count 1 square and draw the new dot. This is the third dot now. This is 2 square and the other side also count 2 square and draw the dot. And we do the same with all the dots. Okay, so now after you finish, now we have the dots. Just you have to match between them to get the reflected shape. So let's match, and this is our reflected shape. And now let's learn together how can we reflect shapes when we have two mirror lines. The first one is horizontal line, sleeping line, and the second one vertical one, so standing one. And this is the shape we want to reflect it. Okay, what we have to do when we have two mirror lines? First, we have to plot our corners, okay? Then we have to reflect it vertically, then horizontally. Let's start doing that. First, the corners. And where is our corners? These are our corners. Now let's start reflected vertical. So just look at the standing line. The first dot, it's 2 squares to the left of the standing line. So I put also on the other side, count 2 squares from the standing line or the mirror line and put your corners. This is 2 squares and this is our first corner. Now the second one also, it's 2 squares, the distance between the dot and our mirror line. And the third one, it's 3 squares, yeah, the distance 1, 2, 3 squares. So I count 3 squares and I put my dot on the other side. Then just match between the dots and this is our reflected shape. Now I have to reflect it horizontally. So now we want to look at the horizontal line, the sleeping line. Okay, the first corner, it's 2 squares up, so now I will working down, I count 2 squares and I put it. Also the other side, 2 squares, I count down and I put my dot. Now 1 square, and the other side also 1 square down, then 1 square down, and there also 1 square down. Then I match between the dots. Okay, so this is the reflected shape. Don't forget grade 4. First corner, then vertically, then horizontally. Let's draw another shape and reflect it. We say the first step is what? Good, corners. Triangle, so 3 corners. This is our corners. Now we start reflected what? Vertical or horizontal? Excellent. First vertical. So let's plot our dots. Okay, the first one, it's 1 square to the left. So in the other side, the right side, count 1 square from the mirror line and put your first dot. The second one down, also this is 1 square, so I count 1 square and I put it. The last one, how many squares the distance between the mirror line and the last dot? Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from the other side also count 6 squares and put your dot. Then match between these dots. So this is the reflected shape. Now let's reflect it horizontally. So now we are looking at the sleeping line. Okay, now we are working up and down. The first dot, let's reflect. Okay, so this is the distance between the mirror line and this dot up, 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. So down also count 4 squares and put your dot. Then this is 1 square up, so 1 square down, and the other side, and the last one. Okay, it's 6 squares. Here 1 squares up, the other one 1 square down, and then this is, we say 4 up, so we count 4 down, and the last one. Then just we have to match between these dots, and this is our reflected shape. Now when we have a pattern, same like shapes, here I have this pattern, small squares, some yellow, blue and red, and we want to reflect it first vertically, then horizontally. Okay, so let's start reflected vertical. First I will start with the yellow squares. Okay, here the first one, the first yellow square, it's 2 squares to the left, so right side count 2 squares and I put my first square. Then this one, it's 3 squares to the left, so from the right side 3 squares to the right. And this one, 1 square is the distance between this square and the mirror line. The last one is this one, 2 squares the distance. Then in the middle we have the blue one, so we put the blue one. Now the red, the first red squares, how many squares between the mirror line and the red square? 1, 2, 3. Good. So right side count 3 and put your first one, then your second one, and this is the reflected shape. Now we want to reflect it horizontally. So we will now look at the sleeping line. We will talk up and down. Okay? Let's start. Here this is up and we draw it same down. In the middle we put the blue one. Then the red. The red, it's 2 squares up, so down count 2 squares and put the last one. And the other side we do the same. And this is our reflected shape. Now grade 4, this is your time to draw the reflected shape. Bring a paper, pause the video, draw this and reflect it first vertically, then horizontally. After that you will find the answer key. You can check your answer.